Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 370, Theoretical Wormholes in Spacetime. Advanced. The flickering neon sign of the Stardust Diner cast long, distorted shadows across the rain-slicked chrome streets of Neo-London. Inside, the air hung thick with the smell of recycled protein burgers and stale synth-coffee. Elias, a chronophysicist with the perpetually tired eyes and a 5 o'clock shadow that seemed to defy the laws of time itself, nervously stirred his drink. He was waiting for Zara, his contact, a notorious information broker known for her uncanny ability to navigate the shadowy underbelly of the temporal markets. Elias clutched a small, intricately carved wooden box. Inside lay the key to his research, a fragment of chroniton, a hypothetical particle believed to be the fundamental unit of time. His work on theoretical wormholes in spacetime had led him to believe that this fragment could stabilize a small, controlled temporal rift. The bell above the door chimed, and Zara slipped in, a figure cloaked in dark synth leather, her face partially obscured by a wide-brimmed hat, held an air of cool detachment. "Elias," she greeted, her voice a low, husky whisper. "You have the chroniton?" He nodded, producing the box. Zara examined it with a practiced eye. "This is it, then, the key to Sector Gamma 7. Sector Gamma 7, a whispered legend among chronophysicists, a region of space-time where the laws of causality were said to be fluid, a place where the past, present and future intertwined in a chaotic dance. Elias had dedicated his life to reaching it. "The coordinates," Elias said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Do you have them?" Zara produced a small data chip. "Encrypted, of course. The temporal authorities wouldn't appreciate us poking around in Gamma 7. They left the diner and navigated the labyrinth streets, eventually reaching a dilapidated warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Inside, Elias had constructed his temporal displacement unit, a chaotic mess of wires, capacitors and humming quantum processors. He inserted the data chip and the chroniton fragment into the machine. The air crackled with energy as the unit powered up. The room bathed in an eerie blue glow. A swirling vortex of light began to form in the center of the room. "This is it," Elias breathed, his heart pounding in his chest. "The infundibulum." Zara placed a hand on his arm. "Be careful, Elias. Gamma 7 is unpredictable. Time doesn't flow there as we understand it." He nodded, stepping into the swirling vortex. The world dissolved into a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds, a disorientating symphony of temporal echoes. He felt himself being pulled in multiple directions, past, present, and future blurring into one another. Then, just as suddenly, it stopped. Elias found himself standing in a desolate landscape beneath a sky of swirling purple clouds. Strange alien flora grew in twisted formations around him. The air hummed with an almost palpable energy. He had arrived. He explored the strange landscape, encountering fleeting glimpses of possible futures and echoes of forgotten pasts. He saw cities rise and fall, civilizations flourish and crumble, all within the span of what felt like a few hours. Time had no meaning here. But the instability of the infundibulum was growing. The temporal echoes became stronger, more disorienting. He knew he had to leave. He activated a small temporal beacon he had brought with him, hoping it would guide him back to his own time. The beacon pulsed with light, creating a temporary anchor in the chaotic flow of Gamma 7. Just as the beacon's signal began to fade, a familiar swirling vortex reappeared. He jumped through, the strange landscape of Gamma 7 disappearing behind him. He found himself back in the warehouse, the temporal displacement unit powering down. Zara was there, waiting. "You made it," she said, relief evident in her voice. "I was beginning to worry." Elias, still disoriented from his journey, could only nod. He had seen the impossible, experienced the unexplainable. He had peered into the heart of time itself, and he knew, with a chilling certainty, that he would never be the same. The wooden box, now empty, lay on the floor, a silent testament to his extraordinary journey. Vocabulary notes. Chronophysicist, noun. Definition: a scientist who studies the physics of time. Example: Elias, a chronophysicist with perpetually tired eyes. Breakdown: chrono, relating to time, plus physicist, a scientist who studies physics. Similar words: temporal physicist, time scientist. While not formal terms, they convey a similar meaning. Chronosynclastic infundibulum, noun. Definition: a fictional term referring to a wormhole or distortion in space-time where time and space are intertwined. Example: his work on chronosynclastic infundibula, theoretical wormholes in space-time, had led him to believe. Breakdown: chrono, time, plus synclastic, curved in the same direction, and infundibulum, a funnel-shaped structure. This combination creates a scientific-sounding term for a complex concept. Note, this is a fictional term, likely inspired by scientific concepts like wormholes and space-time. Temporal, adjective, definition, relating to time. Example: navigate the shadowy underbelly of the temporal markets, and the temporal authorities wouldn't appreciate us poking around in Gamma 7. Similar words: time-related, chronological. Rift, noun. Definition: a break or split, especially a serious one, in this context to break in the fabric of time. Example: stabilize a small controlled temporal rift. Similar words: breach, fissure, gap. Vortex, noun. Definition: a mass of whirling fluid or air, a situation in which something is rapidly drawn into the center. In this context, a swirling mass of space-time. Example: a swirling vortex of light began to form in the center of the room, and he jumped through, the strange landscape of Gamma 7 disappearing behind him. Similar words: whirlpool, eddy, swirl. Kaleidoscope, noun. Definition: a tube containing mirrors and pieces of colored glass or paper which produce changing patterns when the tube is rotated. Used metaphorically here to describe a chaotic mix of sights and sounds. Example: the world dissolved into a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds. Similar words: mixture, medley, array, when used metaphorically to describe a variety of things. Disorienting, adjective. Definition: causing someone to lose their sense of direction or time. Example: a disorienting symphony of temporal echoes, and Elias, still disoriented from his journey, could only nod. Similar words: confusing, bewildering, unsettling. Palpable, adjective. Definition: so intense as to seem almost able to be felt physically. Example: the air hummed with an almost palpable energy. Similar words: tangible, perceptible, noticeable. Fleeting, adjective. Definition: lasting for a very short time. Example: encountering fleeting glimpses of possible futures. Similar words: transient, momentary, ephemeral. Story written by Google Gemini 2.0 AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Hello, this is Steve. If you enjoyed the story, please would you take the time to leave a meaningful comment and click on the like icon. If you want to know when the next story has been uploaded, please click on the notify bell icon to be notified. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tell your English learning friends so they can benefit too. Thank you.